Who do we have left? Oh.
And we are back.
And we're live. We're doing it live.
We're not live.
Oh. Oh.
So if you are tuning in to Off the Record, you're keeping track of all the bands that we are interviewing for this December 14th Toys for Tots. You are probably seeing this video on Friday, whatever Friday's date is. What's Friday's date? I don't know the dates. I just know the days.
The 24th.
No, today's
wait,
24th.
No, yeah, wait, never mind.
I was like, wait a minute. Did I go back in time?
That'd be the 29th.
Hold on, 29th. There you go.
Yeah,
Look at you,
well,
bro.
today's the 24th.
Oh, touche. Yeah, I didn't even look down there. Check my phone.
Yeah.
That's my go-to.
Mm.
So the 29th, you guys are going to see Hello Memories. Thank you guys for being here, for wanting to come in and do Off the Record and talk a little bit about this Toys for Tots benefit show. And I'm super excited to see you guys on stage again.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are one of my favorite bands locally, so I'm super stoked to see you guys. And I'm equally as stoked because Grover here, our Off the Record co-host, is going to be flying in from Texas to actually see all the bands play live.
Oh, that's
Yeah. Nice. Can't wait to see.
So you guys will get to meet Grover live in person. He won't just be a face in a square on a screen.
I'm not that special. We'll just have a beer.
So we're super excited. We're going to have Grover here. It's going to be Off the Record, all three of us in the same location for the first time,
Yep.
having Grover on, and then introducing him to some badass Tallahassee bands. So we're super excited. But I'm really excited to see you guys play live. So for those who may not know, who is currently going to be watching this, who are you? What do you do?
So I'm Dylan. This is so I'm Dylan. I play guitar and vocals in Hollow Memories.
Yeah, I'm Joe. I also play guitar and do vocals, mostly backup and scream vocals.
Nice. Who are we missing?
We're missing PJ Escorpizo. He plays bass right now. I mean, he also writes a lot of guitar licks. And then we have Max Montgomery, who plays the drums, and he's also working on some interesting stuff because he's normally a bass player, so he's writing some interesting licks and stuff there.
That's the weird thing about our band is all of us know how to play each other's instruments, so we're constantly writing things for different instruments.
That is pretty
licks,
cool,
yeah.
though. How does that work? Like, when you guys go into like practice or write new stuff, is it like, do you guys literally just switch up instruments to try different things?
Kind of like one or two of us will have an idea, and then we'll show like each other how to play like a certain part, and then the rest of us will pick up from there and then throw our own little creative twists on it.
Nice.
So it's a lot of just like idea bouncing back to back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
It ends up with a pile, though, sometimes, where like we got all these different ideas from the four guys. And, so sorting through that right now is our little struggle.
Yeah.
That's a great problem to have.
It is.
Absolutely. For sure.
Trying to figure out which one we're going to record next, put out there into the world.
Nice. So does that mean that there's going to be new stuff coming out soon?
Definitely.
Yes. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Okay, so now covered the basis. So now we're going to get to the good stuff. What inspired you musically and how you play? Because you each have your own unique sound that kind of jives with each other. And now that, you're saying that everybody in the band kind of plays everybody's instruments, it makes sense. But you guys have really good chemistry. But on top of that, you each individually have a unique sound for the instrument that you're playing, and your vocals also mesh well together. So what was your inspiration in your unique sound that you guys carry onto the stage?
Oh. That's a good one.
I feel like a lot of us had like kind of that metal background in that early 2000s, the emo era.
Yeah.
I'm actually wearing one of the emo night jackets right now.
Nice.
Yeah, that emo era of music inspired us a lot. But before then, I was really inspired by a lot of punk like Offspring, Green Day, Blink 182, and stuff
can see
like
that.
that. So I tried to mix some of that into with the metal while I'm writing. you know?
Okay, I can see that. I can kind of hear it.
I think the whole band instrumentally like came together around Bullet for My Valentine back in the day.
Okay.
because It was the three of us, and Joe saw us try and play a Bullet song with no drums and jumped in because he was in drums in high school.
Yeah, I had a percussion background and marching band and stuff like that.
No shit.
Yeah.
And so, like,
Wow.
the harmonies and the chugs all kind of, I think we have a basis right there.
Right. Hell yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's okay. I can kind of hear it now that you kind of pinpointed it.
We're not as metally.
Yeah.
A little more alt rock.
Right. I'm also into like indie bands too, like Brand New and Taking Back Sunday and stuff like that. So
I haven't heard Taking Back Sunday in forever.
yeah, so we try to get some inspiration for that for like dual vocal parts since we're both singers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's pretty badass. That's cool. And now that I could kind of hear it, but I couldn't really put my finger on what it was, you know. And now that you've said that, it makes total
Yeah,
sense.
we said bullet for oh okay.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
the guitar harmonies.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. You could definitely hear it. So, what would you say going back to that era? What was always like on repeat on your playlist growing up? Besides Bullet.
Well, so I'll go ahead and answer for the other guys because I know growing up, PJ and Max, they were so heavy into System of a Down.
Nice.
They came out with that spree of like 4 albums in like 2 years or something.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
They just on and on, all they listened to. And
I was a big Avenged Sevenfold fan. Yeah,
Nice.
especially coming out of high school so much that I got a tattoo of their logo and stuff. But definitely when I was learning how to play guitar,
Right.
they inspired me with their leads. Yeah.
Okay.
and that's
So
Max as well.
Yeah, Avenged
Absolutely
Okay.
loves that Sevenfold.
being that you said that back in high school you were a drummer, would you say that Rev was a really big influence for
Mm.
drumming?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Actually, right after Rev passed away is whenever I got the tattoo and remembrance. of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And I was like, the band's never going to be the same again
No.
without him.
100%. I absolutely agree. I remember I was actually watching a video that Avenged Sevenfold went overseas to play for the troops, and it was just one of those things where the guys just kind of like they got there super early, and they're like, we don't have anything else to do, so it was a video like the camera crew was following the guys around, and dude, they just went up and like sat down in a tent, was like playing Call of Duty. Come on, let's go. And they just started playing Call of Duty with the troops. And I thought that was like, in Avenged Sevenfold, I think gets a lot of hate just because, you know, like when bands have been around for a while, it's like, oh, come on, change up your sound or
Almost
something.
the sellout
Yeah,
kind of
that's
aspect of it. But
yeah,
I mean, it took a while for them to get there. Like their City of Evil album that I grew
Yes.
up on. I mean, they weren't near as that big back then.
right,
Like
right.
they were still pretty underground to me.
yeah, no.
Oh, they changed their sound.
They
That's-
definitely
yeah.
have.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's not quite the metalcore that they were, but
Yeah,
I think it's big on Trapped, honestly. Like I
Okay.
used to listen to them a lot
oh, I
because that one album came out with Headstrong on it.
Yeah.
And like Headstrong was probably my least favorite of
Yeah.
all. The whole album was great.
that
for
song
me.
got way overplayed.
It
Yeah.
really did.
Jesus.
But you know
fucks.
what's cool about that is like when Trap came out with that song, at least back in North Carolina where I grew up, they did overplay it, but that was like the only heavier song that was played on the radio.
Wow.
So I remember when I first heard Headstrong, I was listening to the radio, going to school, and the song came on, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, and
Right.
I cranked it, and I'm like, holy shit, it's actually heavy. Like,
Yeah.
what? The radio station is playing something heavy that's not AC/DC, you know, or
Right.
Def Leppard, you know, or something, which not AC/DC or Def Leppard. I love those two bands too, but it was new, it was fresh, and it was heavier than what was being played from most of the other bands. So I went to school. A friend of mine had the album. I asked him if I could borrow the album. He said sure, because I was going to go home. And you young kids that are probably listening have no idea what I'm talking about, but I burned the CD as a copy. So,
LimeWire.
right, yeah, exactly. So I burned the CD so that I could have a copy of it for myself. I went back to school, and my friend that I borrowed the CD from wasn't at school that day, so I stuck it in my locker when my locker got broken into, and that CD got stolen.
Mm.
So I had to explain to my friend, "Hey, sorry, but," and then I had to buy a new album for him. But I remember that. It's so weird that you said trap, and I'm telling you, if you were to listen to the album, there's a lot more heavier songs on that album than just Headstrong. Like it gets heavier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have any particular songs that you really enjoy playing? Like, is there one song in your set that you're like, I can't wait to play this? And alternatively, is there one that you're sick of playing, or
That's
maybe
a good
one that
question.
you find particularly difficult to play?
There is one pretty difficult to play that's like newer. It's not on our EP, but we have played it at a few shows, and especially after I'm trying to do scream vocals, if we're leading into that song,
Yeah.
I find it hard to hit those notes
Yeah.
without my voice just like completely cracking me out. So I try to stay away from doing songs like that, like behind a song that I'm screaming right before that. As far as my favorite song, I mean, I like Breaking Point a lot. The very first song on our EP.
Okay.
I feel like that has a lot of our. We go from like a metal to almost an indie back into a metal. It has a nice little breakdown.
It's kind of jazzy.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So it's like we cover like kind of our whole diversity with it.
Yeah.
With just that one song.
And I have seen you guys at least a couple of times, and I have to say that that's one thing that I do enjoy about your shows is that it is very versatile. And
It is.
And now I'm a metal guy myself. Man. You know, I love fucking Pantera and Slayer. I love all that shit, right?
Yeah.
But I also like a little bit of jazz and
Yeah.
just a little bit of of something that isn't cha 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 all the fucking time.
Right.
Yeah.
But we hope, we got some stuff that we're working on. I'm giving Max a hard time, honestly.
Yeah.
Doing triple chugs or gallops and stuff, and he's trying to like do it with me on the foot
His
pedal.
feet trying to dismantle.
And I just keep messing him up. So we got some stuff that's interesting because like I like to take that and I'll play something that feels really heavy, almost like Tragic.
Yeah.
And then turn around and throw like I want full 7-string chords that are
Absolutely.
big and complicated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like pretty and clean at the same time.
I will say my youngest son Mason has recently found his way into my playlists on YouTube, on Spotify, on everywhere, and he found you guys, and he's like, "Mom, you've got to interview these guys. It says they're in Tallahassee." I'm like, dude. He's like, "They're really good," and he was playing Breakpoint, and he was like, "You have to listen to them, Mom. You need to get them on Off the Record." I was like, "Bro," and so I pulled up the flyer. I have like a list of the bands that I'm interviewing and when. So I was sitting there and I had the list and I showed him and went, "Look right here," and he went, "You've already got him." So he's gonna be super stoked.
That's
to watch
crazy.
this
That's
interview.
nice to hear that we got a fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a big
That's
fan.
cool that somebody stumbled across it.
Yeah, he was. "Mom, I looked in your playlist." I'm like, "Oh shit." That was my first reaction as a parent, and then I went, "Okay, but wait, who'd you find?" And he's like, "This band called Hall of Memories. They're in Tallahassee." And I went, "Okay."
That's
Like
awesome.
he's a big fan, so
Thank you.
he's wanting to come out for the Toys for Tots. I will say, I feel like I was raising him right because he does have the same type of music taste that I do. But at the same time, he was like, "Can I give away my old toys and stuff that I don't play with?" Like he didn't realize like it's got to be bought. But
Right.
he was like, "I have an old Xbox that still works fine. I just upgraded to a new one, so I don't need this one. Can I just give
Probably
that?"
covered in dust and shit.
No. He actually takes really good care of his electronics when it comes to stuff like that. So
Yeah, definitely keep the toys in the packages. Nothing pre-opened.
yeah, absolutely. So I had to explain that, and then he was like, "Well, can we just go buy them an Xbox?" And I'm like, "Son," he's like, "Wait a minute." Now I understand why my parents said I'm not made of money.
Right.
So
Yeah, we try to diversify our music, especially like with our set list.
yeah,
Like whenever we play a show, we think of like, okay, what song do we have that's high energy that can get the crowd drawn in, come in from outside and
yeah,
huddle around the stage. But we know after like 3 or 4 songs, you got to slow it down a little bit.
yeah.
And then after that, we bring it back up slowly and then try to
Gotta-
end on to a big note. Yeah.
Gotta do a good dip.
Oh,
Absolutely.
We like to look at who's before and after us too, and try and maybe be the transition.
Oh, that's
So
smart.
Right. If you have a heavy metal band and then followed by like kind of an indie band, like after that, we'll try to be in between them.
Wow.
Yeah. so that let's say everybody gets off and Tragic's been just and like 20 minutes, you come back, we step on, we play something similar, so you still get that feeling, but you had a 20-minute break, and then we can walk it down into something else.
That is very interesting. I don't think I have ever talked to a band that said that they take that into consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you guys do that. And it's so good that you guys are so, versatile that you can say we have this like heavy song, but then we also have this like smooth
Bring it
easy
down a little
going.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that you guys have that type of music that can just cater to, everybody. Like somebody might say, hey, I don't like heavy metal, but I like alt rock, and you guys can kind of do that too. That's pretty cool.
It's funny that you say it like that too, because John from the Dusty Gravelers, he's like, I don't really care for metal,
Yeah.
but I like the songs you guys write. I like the lyrics you do, So he likes our stuff, and I do try and, like, when we play with him
Yeah,
on a more country show, we do try and bring some of the softer songs.
that's really awesome. And speaking of Dusty Gravelers, we have them next Sunday too.
Yep.
So I'm gonna have to ask them about
Yeah.
that. See, look, you're giving me questions for
Yeah.
fans. Look
Oh,
at
yeah.
y'all. Look at y'all.
Yeah, the Dusty
we love
Gravelers have
John
been
and
great.
Brian.
They've been putting on
Alon
a
is
couple
great.
shows that we've been jumping on and doing sound for us and everything. It's always a good time with them.
Oh yeah, that is awesome. So, what would you guys say inspired you to write most of your lyrics? Like, where does that inspiration comes from when you write?
Life. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, mostly just like past experiences, either dealing with like relationships or loss and how I feel like I deal with them. Almost like a music therapy sort of sense. A lot of it doesn't even start off as songs for me. I'll just have an acoustic guitar and be plucking along with something and humming something in my head, and it'll just later blossom into something more.
Oh yeah,
I have it's interesting to me because sometimes you get like why are they all like sad songs or depressing or
Right.
this and that? And it's like, I don't know if you realize that it's like sometimes it's just me working through something. It comes out in lyrics, and that way I'm not carrying it with me every day, and it ends up in the song, which hopefully we try and write something fun around it, that isn't just sad, but
right.
it helps deal with all those kind of feelings.
100%.
I find my mood affects my writing.
Yeah,
Like whatever
100%.
mood I'm in, it fucking comes out, and I'm not trying to make it or let it come out,
Right.
but it just kind of happens that way. Like I've got this super melodic thing that I'm working on right now, and whenever I first sat down, like you said, I was sitting down playing, plucking along, and this thing came out, and a couple hours later, I thought about my mood at the time, and I was just in a kind of sleepy, daisy kind of mood at the time, and but yeah, it totally comes out.
Yeah. Well, we got like probably three that I can think of that need to be recorded right now are like 15. I wrote that about the idea of like me and the boys been together hanging out playing for 15 years. It's
That's
fun,
awesome.
It's upbeat, and just kind of like it does like a little almost shout out to our original name and in the lyrics and stuff, and just trying to make it all fun.
Yeah.
And it was cool because the first show we played that at, one of the guys we went to high school was like, that was my favorite one. And it was when I was really questioning, did I even like write a good song here? And that was his favorite one of the show.
That is awesome.
So-
That's gotta be a good feeling when you get
Yeah.
those type of compliments after you play songs.
Definitely. But yeah, when it comes to writing, I mean, most of the times whenever I pick up a guitar, it's on a bad day, so I can help myself feel better. So,
Exactly.
I mean, whenever I'm having a great day and like enjoying sunshine and going fishing or something, I'm not going to pick up the guitar to write
Right.
music at that point. But
Or maybe you should.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of it too is just like trying to be inspirational. Like, how can I better myself? Is like a lot of my lyrics like go to like, okay, I see that this is a problem, then I work on moving past it and trying to become a better person.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah.
I think it'll get really interesting, like when we get the stuff that Max and PJ are writing. So like the song "Destructive" ended up with like a PJ riff that I just kind of expanded on and made a whole song. But like Max is working on something now, and it's got, since it doesn't base off vocals like when me and Joe write a lot, it has a different feel altogether. And so I'm actually really curious to sit down with some of those and see how they end up.
Is that exciting for you when you get presented with, I have this idea, and then you get to play with it as well? Does that like?
Definitely.
Sometimes, but it's also like terrifying because like PJ brings a riff, he's like, "This is heavy," and then me and Joe play something on it, and it's like, "Not anymore."
It'll completely.
So
Being able to play each other's lyrics, and I might be imagining this, so please correct me if I'm wrong. Do you guys switch instruments at some point in your set?
We have before, but no, not lately. We haven't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I maybe I have caught you because I could have sworn I saw you guys switch instruments at some point, at some time.
Yeah, there was a song, I believe it was here at Legacy, where actually I switched up to play bass while singing.
Okay,
And-
all right.
and our bass player switched to play guitar.
Got you. So maybe I'm not making
And
that up.
yeah. Actually, I believe on that show too, we had Colton Crawley guest sing with us from our Final Feud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that
That was a
uh,
fun time. We played the Ohio is for Lovers cover. That's
I
what it
love
was.
Yeah, that was over there at the place next to the train station, the little cafe.
Oh yeah, that's where that was. Yeah. But yeah, we've
Drawing
done
a
it here
blank on
before
it.
too. The Bart.
The bar.
The bar.
Ah,
So,
Hell yeah. So can you tell me the meaning behind your name of the band?
See, we've had this before. It was like we had two different names. I can't even remember what the original two names were, and none of us could decide on what they were. So we were like, okay, well, let's just put one half with the other half. Yeah, it was. I don't know. I feel like the second one was like Morbid Memories, or I remember we had Morbid
It was-
Crisis was our
it
original
was
band
Morbid
name.
Crisis, and we went to go play like a cancer benefit.
yeah.
Ixnay. We're done with that one. All right. We've realized our mistake. So that's, and when we tell you, I come from like Bullet for My Valentine, been seven. So we were
Right.
more into metal and came up with the name Morbid Crisis.
Right.
That's
would've-
metal as fuck.
Right. So, and then realized. So we changed it. And I think I was just really into the word hollow.
Okay.
Like back then, I was growing up on Bleach.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
yeah.
anime.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
sorry.
Bleach, the anime.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in there, the lost souls are called hollows, and they have a big hole in their chest.
Damn.
And it's actually cool because now, like, we started up the band and then turned around and they went back, and after 10 years, decided to finish up the anime.
Yeah,
So
they
they're
started
coming out
the
with
anime
anime
back
now,
up. Yeah.
Shit.
which is cool. But that's where the hollow part comes from. And I'm fascinated with the word.
Yeah, it's been almost like 20 years since we came up with the band name now. So.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it's a very original band name. I don't think you're going to find another Hollow Memories.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe in the UK there's one.
Is there? Okay.
I think there's that, or there's a song called Hollow Memories or Hollow something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
When,
always across the pond you run into like,
Right?
assholes.
There is a band,
yeah.
but not related though.
Yeah, if
Well,
our
and
band
on
was
that
just
track-
hollow, it would be pretty
Mm.
difficult.
Yeah.
On that
absolutely.
trap album was I think the second most popular song was Hollow Man
Hollow Man. Yep.
back then.
Oh my god, flashbacks. Yeah, you're right. That's pretty cool that you guys kind of now the whole cancer benefit thing is pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
But I can see why you guys were like, let's just not
Relay
let's
for
just
life.
not. Yeah, right. It's like you rethink everything. Like, oh shit. Okay, so with you guys coming up, you're playing the December 14th show. Which stage are you going to be on?
We need to talk with Andrew about what's going on because I'm not
Andrew,
sure yet.
if
Right,
he was,
right.
he just
Just
I
left.
know. I
Just
meant
listen.
to ask you. I didn't
Yeah.
realize he was going to leave.
The past few times we played on the inside stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's because we can lean more towards the heavier stuff that we end up playing inside typically.
Okay.
Maybe at the start of the metal guys.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Be like a good easing into. Okay, that would be awesome. So, what advice would you give someone who wants to do what you guys do? They're like, man, I love you guys and I want to do what you do. What would be your best advice?
Just start playing. Just pick up a guitar. I mean, even if you feel like you're not too good at it, you're gonna get better the
Yeah.
more that you do it. And it's really just a good outlet in general. Whenever you're, like I said, whenever I'm having a bad day, I pick up a guitar and it helps a lot.
I mean,
Um,
realistically, just chase it. You'll find the people. Like, sure, we started so many years ago, but like, had we not been together and I wanted to go chase playing live, we would have found the people in the scene. I mean,
if you play music and you enjoy it and you keep doing it, it'll just get there.
100%.
It doesn't have to be complicated either. Some of the best music's the simplest music that you
Yeah.
hear.
I was jamming a couple days ago, and I kind of do jam karaoke at home. I've got my laptop going. I've got my guitar. I'm jamming on YouTube or whatever. Come Down by not Shine Down. Bush came on, and I've heard this
Yeah.
song. I mean, I can't tell you how many fucking times I've heard this song. I love it, right? And so out of curiosity, hey, can I play that? I mean, it's like 4 fucking chords.
Yeah.
Like just like everybody else's shit. And yeah, no, like Grover, what Grover just said, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be 200 BPM.
Right.
Right.
Right. Remember to enjoy it.
Honestly,
Always
I
just
think
remember
it's
to enjoy
easy
it.
to get by with the simple stuff.
It is. It totally is. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be technically complicated. It's just whatever.
You'll start discouraging yourself from writing music if you think you
Yeah.
have to be at a certain level right in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And then don't worry about other people's opinions because everybody's
Exactly.
taste in music and everything.
Yeah.
So there could be one person that says, "Oh, you guys, I don't think you're that. You need to quit." And then there's other people that, keep going, don't stop. And
I had a friend a couple months ago that said that, is there something wrong with you? Or are you tone deaf?
Ooh,
After listening to one of our songs, I'm like, look,
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I know that's maybe not your style. And basically, she listens to a lot of AI music or something, and so like I don't know, her version of sound is probably different than.
right, we're gonna have haters,
And that's
everybody
just,
does.
oh yeah,
100%.
There's a difference between
it's
being
everybody here's different,
being critical. There's a phrase.
Criticism?
Yeah, constructive. There's a
Yeah,
constructive
yeah.
criticism.
Criticism.
There's a difference between being giving
No.
constructive criticism and just being a dick.
I am paraphrasing it down to like
Yeah.
the worst point. There, it was more of a conversation.
Oh, okay, I see.
But yeah, it was interesting because like I mean, we went to the recording studio. I've seen it on the thing. I've seen it with an auto tuner. How much does it need
Dylan,
to be
I don't
slightly
think you're tone deaf. It makes you feel
Yeah.
better.
I know.
Yeah,
I know I'm not.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing is it's like that's interesting you hear that because
Yeah, despite stuff like that, though, I mean, we make music for ourselves. At the
yeah,
end of the day.
realistically, it doesn't.
I mean,
even bother
we're doing it to make ourselves feel better, and if other people enjoy it, that's a plus.
Absolutely. So my last question, it's got to be a random one. It can't be about music because I have a list of funny questions. So I got to pick one. All right, what would you say is the most bizarre thing that you've seen at one of your shows?
We had this band come in from Jacksonville. They're what were their names? Zalongo, right? From St. Augustine.
Those guys are
And
great.
before their show even started, what they did was they put down like a whole comforter and pillows like in front of the stage, and they're like, "We don't do mosh pits, we do cuddle puddles." And invited everybody to come and just like lay up on the blanket. They had this stuffed goose that they put in the front of the stage before they started playing.
They were such a wild crew, and they St. Augustine. That's
Yeah.
where they were from.
Puddle.
So they showed up. They asked us to play because they had found us online, and they did all this. Like one of the guy picked up this stuffed duck or
Yeah, it
goose
was
at
like
one
a
point
stuffed goose.
and punted it. And it was just such a wild show. And by the end of it, like they're literally just like slapping the guitars, and he jumps down and rolls up in the comforter and just
Wow.
in a burrito. The dude was wild. And then they turned around and I think the next weekend we chased them back over to St. Augustine and went and played a little dive bar with them.
Oh, that's cool.
Such cool guys.
Had an awesome night. Lost my debit card that night.
Oh,
Oops.
God. Oh, that would cause me to have a
But
panic attack.
yeah, that's probably the most bizarre thing I've seen. Definitely makes it memorable.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. I will say, like the punting of the duck thing does surprise me because we interviewed a band a long time ago, but she female fronted. She was super awesome, but they have a thing where they throw rubber ducks into the crowd.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've heard some weird stuff. I was like, rubber ducks? Why rubber ducks? Like, it's the things that make you go,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you guys coming
Yes,
on
definitely.
off the record and for taking your time to do this interview. Make sure you guys, when you're watching, make sure that you keep your eye on Off the Record social media accounts. We are giving away 2 tickets to the December 14th show where you can see these guys playing live. So make sure you tune in, make sure you follow the rules, enter to win, and you can win 2 free tickets to come see some badass musicians in Tallahassee here at Legacy at the Riverfront. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on. And where can everybody check you guys out?
Hollow Memories pretty much everywhere. As far as the music goes, I mean, we have Facebook and
Spotify.
Instagram.
We have Spotify,
Spotify.
YouTube,
Yep, check it out on Spotify.
Apple.
iTunes, all of that. We also have hollowmemories.com. You can just see like little snippets of there. You can check out our EP on YouTube, Spotify, all
Yeah.
that stuff.